"Honey, you mind stepping back? This is a live fire range." The voice was young, overconfident, cutting through the shimmering heat waves that rose off the Mojave Desert floor. Jessica Stone didn't flinch. Her gloved hands moved with precision, methodically plucking spent brass casings from the gravel. The metallic glint contrasted sharply with the dusty blue of her coveralls, which were worn, functional, and immaculate in their simplicity. The sun beat down, warming the back of her neck and the long blonde hair tied back in a tight, practical ponytail. She straightened slowly, holding the bucket of brass loosely in one hand. Before her lay two Marines prone in the dirt. The shooter, Sergeant Evans, had a jawline seemingly carved from granite and a fresh, high-end tight haircut that reflected hours spent perfecting appearances rather than skills. His Scopa, custom-built, high-powered instrument was trained on a target barely visible to the naked eye. Beside him, Corporal Davis, his spotter, had his own optics tracking the same distant speck. "I'm aware," Sergeant Jessica said, her voice calm, even, and carrying across the dry air. Evans pushed himself onto his elbows, taking the first proper look at her. His eyes scanned dismissively. Loose-fitting coveralls. The faint curve of her hip, stray strands of blonde hair escaping the ponytail. A contractor, a cleanup crew member. Nothing more. "We're not cold," he grunted, gesturing toward the distant impact zone. "We're working a 400-meter problem. So unless you're here to offer a miracle, stay behind the firing line." The dismissal was absolute, the language of underestimation. Jessica had heard it all before, fluent in its dialect after over a decade of service. But now, she wasn't in uniform. Here she was just the woman picking up Brassa Ghost in a blue jumpsuit. For the next hour, she worked in silence, moving methodically behind the shooters. The bucket clinked and clattered with spent 7.62 millimeters and .300 Winchester Magnum casings. But Jessica wasn't just cleaning. She was observing, listening, analyzing. She heard Davis call the wind, noting a crosswind shifting from 9 o'clock. Gusting between 7 and 8 miles per hour, she heard Evans curse under his breath. "Mirage is a monster. It looks like the whole damn desert is boiling." Crack. A thunderous rifle report tore through the air. The pressure wave vibrated against Jessica's chest. She watched the vapor trail a faint corkscrew, twisting its way through the thick air. Her trained eyes required no spotter call. She saw the puff of dust erupt 10 meters left and 5 meters low of the distant steel plate. No joy. "Impact left and low," Davis called. "Frustration clear. Come right to." "Milliseconds up 1.5, Evans barked. Jessica's gaze lifted to the distant mountains. She could see what Evans did not. Heat shimmered danced differently across the shallow basin. Sparse creosote bushes swayed near the line, while mesquite trees beyond remained motionless. Evans wasn't wrong, just not precise enough. He fought the environment instead of working with it. Another shot, another crack, another curse. "This is pointless." Evans finally spat, rolling onto his back and scrubbing dust from his face. 3 hours, barrels hot, ammo's cooking. I can't get a solid read. His eyes landed on Jessica again, 20 feet away, bucket full. He mistook her quiet, analytical focus for idle curiosity. "You find this entertaining?" he asked sharply. "I find it educational," she replied, shifting the bucket. Davis chuckled. "Yeah, and what are you learning, ma'am?" "That the Coriolis effect is eating about 30 feet of your elevation at this range," she said conversationally, "and that you're dialing for a consistent wind value. But there are at least 3 distinct wind channels between here and that target. One is crosswind, another in the dip is almost a headwind, and the third swirling off that rock formation. You're not missing by feet, you're missing by zip codes." Silence. Heavy. Evans's face went red, and just, "Who the hell are you?" he demanded. "The person you hired to clear the range," she said. Evans snapped. "Well, you're cleared to get the hell out of here." He stepped closer, chest puffed, trying to intimidate her with size and rank. His gaze caught the thin leather cord disappearing into her collar. Reflexively, He hooked a finger under it and pulled. Out came a single brass casing, a .338 Lapua Magnum, dulled by age and weather, hand-drilled at the base. "What's this?" "A good luck charm," he sneered, misjudging its significance. Jessica's eyes hardened. That casing wasn't a charm, it was a memory. Dust-choked rooftops in Ramadi. A blazing sun. The weight of a rifle, not for sport but for life and death. Her spotter, Corporal Jensen, whispering coordinates. The casing had been a gift after her first confirmed Kila token from one hunter to another. She gently took it from Evans's fingers and tucked it back inside her coveralls. "Something like that," she said quietly, her calm infuriating him. "You think you know so much?" he demanded, raising his voice. The other Marines along the range started watching. "You think you can walk on here and tell a Marine how to shoot?" "I just told you what I saw," she replied, patience thinning. No. "We're past that," Evans said, gesturing at the massive rifle resting on its bipod. "Prove it. Hit that 400-meter plate. You miss. Your contract's done, and base access revoked. Hit it, and I'll sweep brass for a month myself." The crowd murmured, sensing the high-stakes drama. From the edge of the range, an older master sergeant had been watching. He didn't know her, but he recognized arrogance when he saw it. And he saw her, total command over herself. He pulled out his phone and called Gunny Thorne, a man whose presence could shift the desert itself. Gunny's eyes went wide at the name. Stone Ghost. The legend of Scout Sniper School. He sprang into action, instructing his team to move immediately to the range. The sound of tires screeching on gravel announced their arrival. 2 black SUVs kicked up clouds of dust and stopped behind the line. Gunny Thorne emerged, a living shadow against the sun, followed by the base sergeant major. Marines snapped to attention. Evans went pale. Gunny ignored Evans, walking straight to Jessica. "Ghost, heard you were out." "Didn't know you were here, Gunny. Good to see you." "Can't talk now." "Working a problem," she said, never lifting her eye from the scope. The sergeant major confronted Evans. "What do you think you're doing, Sergeant?" Evans stammered. "Just a friendly wager, ma'am." Gunny stepped past Evans, pointing to Jessica. "You want to know who you're wagering against? This woman is Sergeant Jessica Stone. Graduated top of her class at Paris Island, top at School of Infantry, record setter at Scout Sniper School. While you were in high school, she was providing overwatch in Kunar Province, taking shots that saved lives. She helped design this rifle's optics. And you," he jabbed a finger, challenged her. Pathetic. Silence. Evans's confidence evaporated. Jessica turned to Davis. "Talk to me." Davis's hands trembled over the scope. Wind holding steady. 6 miles per hour, full value from 9 o'clock. Flag at 500 meters shows 6. Mirage at 2000 is running left to right. Heat rising off rocks past the basin, creating updraft. Hold for a 10 miles per hour crosswind with 1/4 mil updraft. Her voice turned toward Evans. "The standard is the standard. Doesn't ask your name, gender, or attire. Only asks if you can meet it." She lay prone, merging with the rifle. Memories of war surged the rooftop, Jensen bleeding, the shot that saved lives. The brass casing around her neck felt warm, a promise to meet the standard. She breathed slowly. Crosshairs on the desert beyond seemed empty. She squeezed the trigger. The rifle barked. The bullet hurtled across the desert. For seconds, only wind and heartbeats. Then ping. Dead center, the Marines erupted. Davis whispered, "Hit." Gunny smiled proudly. Weeks later, Evans approached her at the base exchange. "Ma'am, I was wrong." "How did you know about the updraft?" "You were looking at the target," she explained. "The shot is the last part. The answer comes from reading the whole problem first." He nodded. "Thank you, ma'am." Jessica closed her truck door and drove off. Leaving a lesson far beyond any rifle scope, her story became legend. Quiet heroes like Jessica Stone, meeting the highest standards despite doubt. Strength, skill, courage, no gender required.